Hi my creative peeps, it's Craftin Just Because with Cowan, and today we're playing with the March 2020 Paper Pumpkin Kit, and we are going to make an alternative project, and it's this tiny little box that has rain boots all along the side, and then we use some of the Please Just Punch Designer Series paper and the clouds from the stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started. We will need to bring in our Stampin' Trimmer, and you will need a piece of cardstock that is 7 inches by 7 inches. And then you're also going to need a Blushing Bride, a Fleur de Flamingo cardstock that is 4 1/16 by 4 1/16, and a Please Just Punch square that is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. But first we're going to start with the 7 by 7 Whisper White piece, and we want to score it on all 4 sides at 2 inches. So I'm going to go ahead, score. Okay, and before we put our paper trimmer away, we want to take that Fleur de Flamingo piece and we want to score it at a 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. So I'm going to use the 1/2 inch on the right hand side. Okay, so now we're done with our stamping trimmer. So we're going to put that away, and then I'm going to burnish my score lines on this Whisper White piece of paper so that I can see where things are. And then I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut up on 2 sides, the one facing me and then at the top, and I'm going to wedge this out. Just like so. We're going to do that same thing on the Fleur de Flamingo, but I'm going to wait and do it in just a moment. I want to get all my stamping done first, and then I'll finish up that one. But this just helps me see where I need to stamp. So I'm going to set that stuff aside, and I'm going to bring in my Memento ink and the stamp set. And this month's Paper Pumpkin, because it was the birthday, came with 2 stamp sets. So it came with one that had rain boots, a front door, a bunny, and some floral, and then one with clouds and sentiments. So we're going to start off with the rain boots. I'm going to get up my block down. And what I want to do is I want to stamp my boots so that they're facing up. So I'm going to do that on all 4 of the middle sections. Looks like I'm going to need to re-ink my Memento. And then I'm also going to do another pair here on some scrap paper. Okay, and then before we clean up all of our ink or stamp sets, we're going to do a little bit more stamping really quick. So we're going to bring in the clouds, and I'm going to do 2 clouds on this scrap piece of paper. And I'm going to use Pool Party ink for that. So we're first going to do the big set of clouds. And then we're going to do the smaller set of clouds. Just like that. Excuse my reach there. I'm also going to bring out my Flirty Flamingo ink, and we're going to stamp our sentiment. And then we're all done with the stamping, and we can do some coloring and get this box put together. So I'm going to use the I Believe in You. Just like that. Okay, so let me clean that one off, and then we're all done with our stamps, and then we can get these colored and put together. I just repeated myself. I'm sorry about that. Okay. So the colors that we're using with our Stampin' Blends are Flirty Flamingo Combo, whoops, the Daffodil Delight Combo, the Granny Apple Green Combo, and the Pool Party Combo. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this one pair in the Granny Apple Green. Whoops. Cut that out. I was thinking they were attached, and they're not. What was I thinking? So I'm just doing a quick color job here. I'm going to come in with my dark and do a few of the shading areas. And then I'll come back over with my light and blend that all together. So we're going to do just what I did on all the rest of those boots. I'm going to see if my color lifter will bleed that out. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to come in and do the same thing on these boots. Okay. Then I'm going to do Flirty Flamingo. Sorry, this was taking so long. I should have thought to pre-color a few of them. As you can see, I'm not being real, you know, careful. I'm just making sure that everything's looking pretty good and colored in. Excuse my reach there. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing here on this side. And you could color these in with pretty much anything. You could do colored pencils. You can do chalk if you wanted to. Your Stampin' Write markers. The sky's the limit. I do love my my Stampin' Blends. Okay, one last color here, and then we will repeat them. And then we'll get everything cut out. I'm gonna go ahead and color. I should have done this to begin with, shouldn't I have? As you could see, I'm really rushing now. I love the rain boots, and they're so popular right now. It's crazy. Okay, so there's that one, and then let's do the Daffodil Delight right next to that one. So we stick with our pattern. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. I'm going to see if I could go over that. What a goofy mistake I made there. So is anybody getting a lot of crafting done since you're home? I know things for me haven't changed much because I've always worked from home. So that part's kind of nice, but there are days where I'm like, gosh, I wish I could just relax. There we go. Okay, so now we just have these ones left to do. So I hope everybody's doing good and staying healthy and getting all the essential items they need. And I want to thank all the essential workers that are keeping us going every day. Kind of, not that I took for granted anything before, but it does make you appreciate things just a tiny bit more when you know that people are working on your behalf to make sure that you have food and gas, you know, electricity, internet, things like that. Very much appreciated. Okay, we have one less color job. I just like to take my paper pumpkin and try to create, you know, different items that people might normally not create. I know that the box this month I did love, and what I'd like to do with it is send a gift in it for somebody, since we're stuck at home and somebody might need some cheeriness going on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put glue on those corner pieces and then start forming my box. And we're going to do the same thing on that Flirty Flamingo once I get this done. First, we got to cut out those pieces that we additionally stamped. So you can make a gift box for practically anything if you measure your gift box, or you know, your gift, what you want to put in it, and then you know, make it wide enough, deep enough, and then the lid you just need to make 1/16 of an inch larger so that it fits on to your bottom. Hence why there's the 4 1/16. Okay, so while that's drying for a moment, I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to fussy cut my boots out. And if you notice, I'm really just turning my paper and not letting my paper snips do a lot of the work. And then I'm going to cut my clouds out, kind of doing the same thing. My scissors are just following that paper that I'm turning. Sorry if I went off camera there. Sometimes I need to get a little closer. And then for that sentiment, I'm going to take my classic label punch and I'm going to punch that out. Just like that. So then we have that. Now we're going to take our Flirty Flamingo and we're going to burnish those edges. And then we're going to wedge the corners just like we did on the smaller one. And then before we form the box, I'm going to go ahead and decorate it because it's sometimes easier to do when it's flat. So let me get all my scraps out of the way here. So here's that Pleased as Punch Designer Series paper, and it is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And I'm going to layer that down right in the center. Then I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm going to add my clouds. And then I'm going to add Stampin' Dimensionals also to the back of my boots. just like that. And then I'm going to add just a tiny bit of glue on the back of my label. And then I'm going to take my baker's twine, my white baker's twine, and I'm going to tie just a little bow. And one trick when making bows with baker's twine, you want to, when you're pulling the ends to make it all pretty, you want to hold that center down because that's what will keep it nice and even. Okay, so then we're just going to add the bow right there. That's cute. And then we're going to glue up the sides and make the top of our box. So hold that down for just a moment. While that's gluing for just a moment, I'm going to add a little bit more glue here in this corner, just like that. And then there's the top of our box. And we have our finished project. So I appreciate you guys joining me today. All the directions will be listed on my blog, which will be in the information section below. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, please push the subscribe button so you could be notified when I post new videos. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to crafting with you guys again later. Bye-bye.